Hey everybody, Dmitry's here. This is a little review of our Ximea camera setup on our rig. Unfortunately, I have to do this at home, so don't mind all that mess. So essentially here we have 60 megapixel camera from Ximea, a 50mm Canon lens, our electronic polarizers, all the standard setup that we have. And over there, by the way, you can see that's our Gen 1 first generation rig. So it came a long way. Now it's all nice and metal and good. So the difference in this particular setup is that we have essentially turntable over there triggering one of our primary sync boxes that passes through all the commands to the second one. Then as soon as that turntable tells it to trigger, we receive the signal, then we send it over to the camera and telling it that okay, you can start doing the burst mode, and we set up the number of frames that it's gonna shoot, and then camera starts shooting. But at the beginning of every frame it would send the signal back into the box to tell it to actually go to the next lighting scene, and both of them would do the same. So here essentially we have all this wiring. We're gonna make a nice little splitter, so there's nothing special there, so it's gonna look all nice, but for now it all works, and I check all the signals, everything works great. So, and then basically camera just runs in burst mode, takes a number of pictures, sends them right away over this PCIe cable to the PC, and we just dump all the DNGs, raw DNGs, and then process them later. But as you will see, that happens like instantaneously. So that's pretty good. So from a user's perspective, because a lot of people ask that, like, how can we make all this consumer DSLR faster, but there are a lot of problems. So I'm gonna show you a little bit that it's pretty much not that different from a user's perspective. So essentially you connect the camera. Let me take a sit. We have standard Ximea software. That's pretty much like any other remote software, though you might see quite a lot more parameters that you normally would see. But we can launch the preview, and this is what we have there. It's just doing some basic processing, but essentially the important parts that we care about down there, those are our like lens focus control. So you can move the lens focus further away, closer, do all the regular stuff. They have some nice tools like for if you want to do like centering and so on. So that's all that stuff is pretty much there. Like for instance, in this case, like we could move the rig a little bit, so I can just turn it a little bit, and there you go. And also we have same stuff from the app that we can change polarization, change it back, so you can see all the difference. In this mode you essentially evaluate all the focusing and stuff like that, and you can take some test shots. But for high performance stuff, essentially we just close the tool, and we have now a custom, essentially it's like a capture server. Basically it connects to the camera, and all it does, it just sits there, and as those photos arrive, it just dumps them everything like to the SSD drive. So in this case we have pretty much everything set up there. Here it's all the standard stuff. Let's go to our turntable software. So you can see we're running that Syrp Mini Genie 2, but pretty much any turntable would do the trick. So we just go and hit record. In this case it's going to take 24 positions. The wait time is 1.5 seconds, so the whole sequence here would take less than a second. So let's go record, and you can see it's capturing. Going to the next position, and as it's doing that, all those photos, they appear right there. Next position. There you go, done. That's it, right there. Everything is transferred. 65 megapixels, 12-bit and analog to digital converter. All the data is there. So you can see how quick it is. So in terms of quality, we've done a lot of tests now. So this particular sensor can run at 30 FPS and doing 1/30th of a second exposure, which you cannot really do with consumer cameras, especially that are not global shutters, because essentially what happens here, as the exposure finishes, it quickly moves all the essentially electrons into separate nodes, and then it can start exposing the next frame while transferring all the data from the previous one. So you can see it's just turns and runs, and that's it. That's how quick it is, and we get all the stuff done, and it's gonna tell us how much we already used. 70 gig. That's it. The whole thing. We took 24 positions, 70 gig of basically DNG's raw data, but right there, it's all pretty much, it's already on disk. So here we can go in RawTherapee, and basically these are all our shots. Right now they look a little bit greenish and weird, but because we need to copy proper settings, I'm going to paste something from what I had there before, so you can see it's opening. Yeah, it's applied. It's thinking. Come on. It's trying to cache something. Oh, there you go. Okay, are we there yet? Yeah, yeah, it's having a lot of problems dealing with all those photos, but these are our essentially raw DNG. As you can see, 65 megapixels, and this one is about 125 gig there, but all the detail and everything is there, and they're all cross-polarized there. So there you go. That's pretty much it. As simple as it gets.